today's episode, I have a fun exercise I want to share with you. And I'm going to teach you how to use your subconscious to telepathically talk to your friends. So tune in and listen to this fun exercise that you can do and realize the power of your mind. Welcome to another lesson learned episode on living your sparked second half. I have a fun thing to do with you today, and I'm going to make this a quick episode. And I'm going to do some more of these quick episodes because I thought I just need to do like these quick, like fun tips, mindset tip Fridays. Those that just is something that I think would be helpful. And so I want to do that if I can make them short because I tend to like elaborate. So this will be my challenge. But I want to talk to you today about a fun exercise that I just created for my students. I have a new group of students that just came into the second half Spark School, and I was updating some of the content. And I read this book, and I'll put a link to the book in the show notes. But I read it a few months ago, and there were things in the book that I captured that I wanted to include into my curriculum because they were just so great that just and this was one of them. This fun exercise was one of them. The book is The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol. And I think it's a much older book, but all the concepts are fine to use today. They're just applicable, and it's just wonderful. But the gist is that our mind is super powerful, and the trick to a lot of how we can use our mind to benefit us is just having this belief that it's possible. And so that's the magic of believing, right? So one of my modules is actually all about belief and instilling belief in some different, I mean, it's a combination of things that I feel you need to believe in. But number one, you need to believe in your vision for your future, that it's possible. You have to have a vision, number one. And you have to believe that it's possible. And you have to believe that you are here to fulfill that vision, that you came here for a reason, and you wouldn't think that this vision if it weren't possible for you. So this belief, I call it kismet, that this is your fate and that it is your responsibility to live to this future and live into this future. And you have to believe that in order for it to actually manifest into your life. You have to believe that you have help. And that's where your mind comes in, the subconscious mind. And not only can you use your subconscious mind, we think it's all about heavy lifting. We think about the physical body and the physical world. And, it's all about that which we live in, our circumstances, our capabilities. No, it's much bigger than that. And you can be a magnet to things, but you have to believe it. You have to believe it's possible. You have to understand and know the universal laws. Well, you don't have to know them, but if you know them, it helps you believe. So that's one of the reasons I explain them, because it helps people who are skeptical and they think, no, I just have to do all the heavy lifting. It's up to me and me alone. Nobody's helping me. But that's not true. The invisible is helping you. And you have to believe that the answers are inside of you, because so much of the time we're just sitting in the I don't know mindset. But that's because we're not asking our higher self. We're asking people for their advice, which oftentimes isn't good advice, when our higher self knows, but we just don't know how to access the higher self. And so we can use the magic of our mind to access that higher self. And so these beliefs and this magic that is all around you is so, so important. And so the exercise is using this magic to connect with somebody that you love. and this is how it's going to work. And this, I actually did this, and it worked within basically like 36 hours. So it's kind of crazy. All right. So what you need to do is you need to think of someone in your mind that you haven't talked to for quite a while. Somebody, good friend would be preferred, somebody you want to talk to, right? So you think of somebody and you haven't talked to them for a while, and you just think about them. You think about them every single day for the next like 2 weeks. So I recommend thinking about them like when you wake up. You maybe even set your alarm, just a reminder, so you remember to think about them, because we live in a busy world and sometimes we forget the things that we said we were going to do. So you just want to think about them every day, maybe before you go to bed at night. Just think about them and how much you'd like to talk to them, and you want to catch up with them. So if they have not contacted you, they'll probably contact you out of the blue. But if they haven't contacted you, then pick up the phone and contact them and see if they say to you, "I've been thinking of you. That's crazy you called me. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I was just going to call you." So that is the fun exercise. It's easy, doesn't take a lot of effort, but just see if you can experience the telepathic powers that you actually have and don't even realize. And maybe that will help you start to believe in the magic that you have inside of you that's probably not being used. So I want to share quickly before I close, because I told you it would be a quick little fun exercise tip thing. I did this. So I was creating this new content for my new cohort of students, and I was wrapping it up over the weekend. I actually recorded it Monday in the 11th hour, but I was thinking, I'm going to do this exercise just for fun. I like to do the exercises along with my students. So I'm going to do this. And so I thought of one of my best friends who, we went to college together. I'm in a chat thread with her and two of my other college roommates. So we will text each other like periodically. We don't text each other every week, but we'll text each other if somebody has a birthday, or if something exciting is happening, or we see something funny, but it's just a periodic chat thread we have. So we've chatted, but I have not talked to her for probably about 3 months. She just had a new grandchild in December. And so we were texting about like the baby and the labor, and it was on labor, and then the baby was born, and what's its name and how much did it weigh. Didn't have a phone conversation, but I've been wanting to catch up with her to see like how's the baby and what's going on. And we're both very busy. We have busy lives. And so I was like, I want to talk to her. I want her to call me. I want to have a conversation and catch up. And every time we catch up, it's like a 45-minute conversation. So it is an investment in time. So finding the time for us is hard. And so I put this out, and I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to think of her, and I want her to call me. She called me the next morning. Yes, the next morning she called me. Now, I will caveat it and say it was my birthday, but I will also say oftentimes when something happens that we ask the universe for, we tend to dismiss it because we were like, oh, well, that would have happened anyways, or oh, well, that. And you just have to believe. You have to believe. And, some of the things that made me think to myself, I know the universe helped, because number one, none of my other friends called me, just she called me. She called me before 9 o'clock in the morning. She didn't wait till later in the day. And she called me. It was like, she didn't text me. She picked up the phone and called me. And I didn't even think it was my birthday when I thought of, oh, I want to talk to her. When I was thinking about this exercise and I was thinking, who do I want to talk to? I was thinking, oh, her. And I wasn't thinking, oh, she'll probably call me because it's my birthday. That was the furthest thing from my mind. It doesn't even. And then like afterwards, I was thinking, oh my gosh, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. And so it was fun to see it, something that I did that I was asking my students, and I'm excited to see what happens with my students and see what they manifest, what conversation they attract just using their subconscious mind. So that's gonna be kind of crazy. But yeah, I did a telepathic exercise that actually worked. Even if it was my birthday, I still got a phone call, and it was the first one that I got of the day. So that was the universe helping me, and I honestly was in belief of it happening. I was in full belief of it happening, and it did. So let's see what comes up for you. And if it happens, message me. Let me know what happened. Send me an email, contact me on social media. And if you like this short, quick tip episode, then leave me a review. Say you liked it, because that really helps my podcast get out there. So thanks so much. Have a great Friday and rest of weekend. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into the Not Your Average Lives podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe on iTunes if you have an Apple device. You can find free resources and learn what else I have going on at the moment that might interest you on my website at notyouraverage.grandma.com. You can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at Not Your Average Grandma. If you liked this episode, it would make my heart so happy if you could leave me a 5-star rating. You can also add a review to let me know what you like about this podcast, which will help spread the word about it to others who need a little midlife inspiration. As always, be you, listen to your inner voice, and focus on reigniting that lost spark so you can start living your own, not your average life.